So hello and welcome to Balancing the Act. Today I am going to speak to Rajat Shukla, who is a bushcraft minimalistic. He's visited 17 states, 6 union territories and Nepal. So he's been traveling since the 1st of Jan this year and is continuing to travel, I think, for maybe a few years now. So hello Rajat, welcome to Balancing the Act. Yeah.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks for that amazing introduction you gave.
Yeah, so I think it is important for people to travel, but I believe you are traveling without money. So that's quite surprising because first thing when anybody is planning for their trips is the budget, what location. So tell us how you began basically and what you do as your profession and what is this journey about that you have taken out?
The most important thing is that what do we bring in for people that's different? There have been people wanting to visit Ladakh, Delhi, any, Northeast, South India, wherever, from Mumbai. Like I was from Mumbai, I was a journalist. But before planning for a trip, one thing always stopped them, or one thing made them decide, or maybe balance, or maybe change or edit the plan. And that was budget. Always budget. Not everybody maybe had the right to see such big dreams, is what was seen in front of me. I thought, let's change this. Let's start something and make people realize that money is just a tool. And there are other tools as well that you can use to attain the dreams of your travel journey, is when I started traveling. 6 months, Maharashtra's amazing mountains, forts of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Crazy experience I had. And this was during my tenure of being a journalist. And then I felt this is something that I'm lacking the most, and let's make this full time. And then I started walking and crossing boundaries of district, states, and nation. And that's how it began.
So I have interviewed, journalist, profile of journalists, and they travel a lot because of their profession. So were there any assignments that you got that, started your travel journey?
I mean, if I really go to remember, countless experiences. Being a journalist, we were all friends, the producers, the PR people, promotions, the team, and the journalists, surely. So we used to decide amongst ourselves that, okay, this show is going to get launched. Why do we get launched in Mumbai? They already have a big budget. Why not we launch it in Kashmir? So they'll go in Kashmir. Why not launch it in Chennai? We'll go to Chennai. Why not launch it in some northeastern state? It was all on us. So we used to decide amongst ourselves, and there we go. A week journey. We used to interview the actors for, let's say, 10 minutes, and the whole week is ours. We have the car, we have the nice hotel to stay in. It used to be like amazing. Yeah.
So, once you started this journey that started, at the beginning of the year, what was it like?
See, the journey initially it started with walking the forts, as I told you, the mountains. It was amazing. I was loving climbing the mountains, reaching a good height, chasing my own endurance, pushing it to the highest limits, without food, without water. I used to get out of my house in the morning, used to take lifts to reach to the forts. That was a challenge that I gave to myself initially while I was a journalist, while everything was normal, just to see whether sometime later I'll be able to do it on a larger scale or not, just to check. And I was quite successful. But something happened in the month of December. And that something was when I started going far off places. Before, I used to have a group. So it used to be called as Sunday Explorers. Sunday Explorers was a group that I created, and a lot of my friends from our locality, my colleagues, my friends from social media, a lot of people came and joined me, and we used to go together in a group of 10, 15, 20 people to walk off these forts. But I realized sooner that when I started going far places is when the group got reduced to me solo. One day it arised that I was one left. That's it. And that's where I think my realization of solo travel's happiness began. I started enjoying my own company because it was not just alone. Trust me, I got to meet more people, made more friends. Now the boundaries that was just 3, 4 or 20 has now become unlimited and crazy. There was this 6 day thing that I planned that, in these 6 days, I'm going to uh, try and climb as many forts as I can. And I did two. One was Shri Malangad, which is popularly known as Haji Malang Dargah, which is in Kalyan East. That was the first one I did. And the second one was Chanderi Kila. So that falls in Panvel. I went to both these places and had a splendid experience. And while returning from Chanderi, I thought, why not I go directly to Kalsubai Peak? It was 2 a.m. in the night. I made the decision, let's go. I started walking towards the highway. It was 4 a.m. I got a lift from a truck. The truck person, I asked him, can you drop me to Kasara? He said, why Kasara? I'll drop you to Kolkata. He just said in that moment, and that moment was the decision-making time of my life. 4 a.m. in the morning, I said, yes, take me to Kolkata. And bro, he did. He did 2,100 kilometers from Mumbai to Kolkata.
Wow.
I left Mumbai forever. Now this is going to be a travel journey for life.
So when you're walking alone, you have a lot of time that you spend with yourself. Like obviously you're walking on the road, it's an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Is there any realization or state of mind that you have reached while you're doing this walk, or what is this walk about?
So this walk really makes me realize, think, analyze, and a lot of introspection happens. I have learned the value of the most slightest things that we get. The thankfulness that maybe we miss out in the normal days. Like I read something in the morning today itself that the fish doesn't know about the sea unless it's not out of the sea. Once it is out of the sea, the time when it struggles, it understands the value of the sea, and once it is back, the fish is no more the same fish and the sea is no more the same sea. Brilliant thing I read, and I think I am experiencing that. When I walk, I don't know till when I have to walk, till where I have to walk. I don't know who is going to stop the vehicle by themselves, or I'm going to show this thumb when I am like exhausted, and who is going to really stop the vehicle and give me the lift. Trust me, even most simplest bike, let's say a Hero Honda Splendor Plus, or even a Tempo, a 3-wheeler Tempo that shakes like too much, even that feels like a luxury ride for me. That happiness I get in every small ride. Every one meal that I get offered by people while I'm walking on the road, people are curious to know the story. They are like, come on, let's have lunch, let's have dinner, let's have breakfast. Every meal feels like the best meal, a 7-star meal, or whatever, 3 course, 4 course, 10 course meal. It feels like I'm getting every bit of the taste in whatever I get, even let it be just a small fruit. I have had experienced the best of life being a journalist. But while I travel, I am not sure where the sun will set and where am I going to set tonight. People offer me to stay at their places. Sometimes people don't. Sometimes I used to have my tent before, but as I mentioned, I'm practicing a breatharian lifestyle that helps me to use minimum food and still survive. I have adapted bushcraft lifestyle. Bushcraft is like managing everything that's already available in the nature and the world. Just having a mat and just sleeping somewhere, finding a place. Even that feels like the most coziest place ever. So I think realizing the value of the most minutest thing that maybe the Almighty or the people around you gives you is something I'm learning during this walking thing and this exploration of mine.
So if there was like one night that you remember that was like the hardest amongst all, what would, like, how would you describe that night to be? Like the one maybe when no one's giving you your lift, no one's giving you a place to sleep, maybe you're run out of water, or it could be anything, but you know what you've gone through. So if you could shed some light on that.
I think even the experiences make you count. When sometimes you don't know how to really approach, how to really talk, how to really connect to people, because we certainly make it a point that people are strangers for us. Slowly and gradually with time, I overcome that. But let's just come to the question. I was in Behrampur. That is when I crossed Kolkata and I was going towards Siliguri. Behrampur was a place where I stopped because I was getting no lifts. It was night time. I was trying for lifts since 9 o'clock. I got few lifts, I reached a place 11 o'clock to 12 to 1 in the night, and that too a person from Mumbai. I had just one sweater and it was a very normal sweater. Bro, surviving in West Bengal was crazy. I was nearly reaching the Darjeeling district. Very shivering, I think, chilled night that was. And I couldn't find anything like no lift, no food, no water, no place to stay. All I found was a shop which had a roof that was bent towards outside. So what I felt is I should, but I had a mat because I carried a mat with me for climbing the forts, as I told you. So I just took the use of the mat and slept there. I was shivering the whole night from 1 a.m. to maybe say 5 a.m. And one thought was striking my mind back and forth again. Get up, Rajat. Go back, Mumbai. This is not something you can do. But I also had one thing in mind. If you go back to the same life where you always felt uneasy. You always felt that you are some sword and is being used just to cut nails. I had a lot of energy. I wanted to use that energy. And finally, I made up the decision, let's survive this night and let's see what happens in the morning. Morning, I got up, took my road to Darjeeling, and then the story continues.
So if there is some, favorite people or favorite locals that you have met in this journey, where would that place be? Like something that you're really grateful for and that, changed the way of this duration of your journey that you continue to do?
See, I say it would be really wrong of me telling one particular state being good. Everybody has been good is the reason I am still fit and fine without spending a single penny. If I have survived 17 states, 6 union territories, everybody has been amazing. But yes, there are different cultures in which people are very curious to know that who is this going. And they have this habit of offering a lot of things. So I think I would give it a count to Haryana, Punjab, Uttarakhand, UP. These 4 states have been the best for me. Also counting Kerala in the south. Oh my God, Kerala has been really, really, really amazing for me. Rest states, equally great, but I think my experience in these 5 states have been the best. And Northeast is still remaining. So I'm just counting that Northeast proves to be great for me.
So what was the most amount of time you spent in a place? And like you said, you got a truck ride from Mumbai to Kolkata. That's how you started. But which was the place that you have, stayed in the place? Like say you've traveled to so many states. What was the state that you liked the most and you stayed there for quite some time?
If it will be talking in terms of size, then Nepal is very small. It is smaller than many of our states of India. It is very small. So as a country, I stayed there for 20 days. I mean, really small place, went to a lot of places. So Nepal can be one. But also, I would like to mention about the present place where I am. That's Auroville. I am here since almost 3 weeks now, and I'm going to spend 1 more month maybe. It's going to be total 2 months here. The reason is I am getting to meet travelers from all over the world. Let me tell you one thing, Kevin. It is not about the mountains, beaches, roads, forest. You might find similar kind of terrain at 2 different places. But one thing will keep changing, one thing will keep exciting you, and that is the people. The people, the culture, their lifestyle, their approach, the way they love you. Oh my God. That is something that is the biggest motivation of my travel. And yeah, I'm getting a lot of it here in a lot of small packages from different parts of the world here in Auroville, and I'm enjoying myself.
So what is the current role that you play here? You're doing something like you're offering some service to where you're staying at Auroville, I assume. So what are these services, and how is it that you are benefiting the community over there?
So one thing before answering this, I need to tell everybody who is listening or watching this, we as human race, we need to understand one very simple thing and life will become easier. And that is Vasudevam Kutumbakam. The whole world is a family. once you consider that, you would start contributing at wherever you are. So that's what I do. Wherever, at whichever part of the state or district or the country I am, I make sure that I provide value to the people I meet, value to my presence wherever I am, and the value to every small and big thing that people do for me. And the thing that I'm doing over here, this is Auroville. So Auroville is very popular for volunteering. Not much of the cash exchange happens. You work, you get things. So similarly, I'm working over here. This is a nice room that I am in, and there are various nice other properties around where I am taking care of two hostels. One is Woodpecker and one is Rangashala, where a lot of travelers come in, where a lot of people who want to learn yoga, they come in. A lot of people who want to perform theater. There are plays also happening around in this vicinity. So they visit here, they perform, there are audience coming in. So I take care of everything. So, my job is like, I'm the lucky one, by the way, in this case. I am the boss with no stakes.
That's great. Yeah,
But-
you to
But
you.
I'm very happy.
And definitely, your room also looks so like exclusive, I feel. So how
Happy.
definitely. So what is the day in the life of someone who's managing properties? How difficult or how long are your working hours? Is there like a fixed time that you work, or is like throughout the day there is work coming in and you are continuing to do it?
This is a phone that the company has given me, and this keeps on ringing. And there are like messages all the time. We have a party on 11th, so a lot of pressure, and I have to take care of everything because the hostel I am in, Woodpecker Hostel, ranks amongst India's top 10 hostels, and everything that happens here is the talk of the town. So there is pressure and unlimited pressure. You can say I am relaxed all the time, but with the pressure that I need to check whether every work is done or not, whether the place is clean. I need to be sure about every check-in. I need to be sure about every checkout. I need to be sure about every payments done. I need to be sure about the music gets off at 11 p.m. I need to be sure about people are still enjoying even after the music gets off. I need to be sure about the weekdays people are still chill and they are vibing with each other. I need to be sure about there's something interactive happening during the weekends. So in all, I am there 100% everywhere. That's my job.
That's a lucky job to have, with so much of energy that you're telling me about it. I'm sure you're happy doing this job, and I hope you continue to be this happy. One last thing as a takeaway, I want to take from this interaction with you is if there was one life lesson that you had to give to people listening to the podcast, what would it be?
I want everybody of you to once try the idea of giving up whatever you have owned for a day. Just wear whatever you like, drop your phone off, drop your money off, get on the road. Go till wherever you can and come back if you feel that, no, I cannot do this. Maybe you will realize something that was there in back of your mind you could have done, or maybe the purpose of your life will be served. Please do that. One small exercise, please do this. Drop off everything and just walk somewhere.
So Rajat, it was super nice to speak to you. I really enjoyed this, and I hope people listening to this will too. So thank you for your time. I think you have so much to do, and we'll see you soon maybe.
All right, Kevin, it was pleasure talking to you, and so much amazing it was for me to share this insights about what I'm doing, and I hope people also somehow find time, maybe not every day, okay, maybe once a week, okay, if not once a week, maybe once in 4 weeks, okay. There are 365 days, maybe a couple of times, 5-6 times. So please find time to travel, because travel has lots to give. अगर ज्ञान आपके पास है तो हजम होगा, नहीं है तो आप अर्जित करेंगे. Please do that.
Thank you. Feel free to follow, like and share. Thank you for your time, and as always, stay safe.